what happens, the PPT are there, but suddenly the content, new content as it come, I just include it into the PPT. So that's why I just have not given to you. The final PPT I will
Okay.
upload today evening.
No problem, sir. No problem.
Okay, great. So already we have see the concept of defining talent according to McKinsey. What is the talent? Talent term is invented by McKinsey and Associate. So the talent is the more personal or individual term. Talent management is nothing but when that individual or the talented employee comes into that the system, okay, or in the organization, then how you can manage those talent in a systematic way. That is nothing but the talent management. So basic key points for talent management is a systematic attraction, identification, development, engagement, retention, and deployment. That is the main terms that will focus throughout the program or the execution of this course. Next, in introduction, the same thing that we have discussed about aligning the business goals with the strategic objective, managing talent strategically, right talent at right place. Okay, so the TM triangle that we have seen, we just see that in employer perspective, what type of organizations or the point of view of employers exist to look towards the talent management. Some organizations look as a hire and pay. The employee needs to take care of it. The employer perspective is that the cream always comes to the top. There is no need to identify, there is no need to attract, there is no need to retain or develop those talent. So that is one perspective or one side of the employer. The second side is the central planning and control. Some employees think that it's a complete responsibility of the organization to develop, retain, attract the talent within the organization and align them with the organizational the business objective. So this approach not focused to employee at an individual way. It's only an employer approach. They see the benefits and according to that they design that talent management program. And the third perspective is a people centered enablement. Here the basic approach is that the organizations are completely, it's a blended approach. It's not like that only the employer centric, but it's a employee centric also. So there are two sides. The blended approach is used for talent management program, so people are responsible for their own development but will be supported by any mean is nothing but the organization objectives. So that is the employer side. Okay, so this is the TM triangle that we have already seen. You can raise the question if you have any doubt on that the particular slide. So then we have seen the traditional talent development approach. In that we have seen planning, review, to talent review, career planning, development 10-20, and development 70. So this 10-20 is nothing but in the percentage of in development percentage. Okay, so 20% the talent is developed through off-job training. That is nothing but coaching, mentoring, and formal training. And the 70% development of the employee happens through on-job training. That is nothing but the experiential learning that the employee able to put practically on floor. This is nothing but one chart that is taken from one famous book. I have not quoted it. Okay. So this is nothing but the priority, the measures of talent management. So if you see job assignments are there, there are two x-axis and y-axis. If you see in x-axis importance to my development, that is the employee perspective, and in y-axis how well company provide, that is the employee perspective, that is expecting by the employee. So here the job assignment, coaching, feedback, mentoring, and training. If you see the least preference is given to the training part because it's a off job or a traditional classroom training, and the maximum preference is given to the job assignment. So if you see the numbers which is present in that circle, that is a part of that assignment. If you see here, the numbers are in front of numbers. The meaning of that numbers is are mentioned. Like the first one is promote high performance quickly, build skill to boost career prospect. So all these are the on-job training, experiential learning. That the formula that I have shared with you, that 70% people development happens due to the experiential learning or on-job training. So that is nothing but a mixed approach. This slide says that the people are most preferred, means the employee most prefer to include the on-job training program for a talent development process rather than providing the traditional approach for classroom training. Okay, this slides give us the clear picture: 70% experience, 20% form, and with other means that is a peer learning. With your peer that you are sharing some functional knowledge. Okay, knowledge management, that part comes under 20%, and finally the off-job training, that is nothing but the theoretical concepts of or the off-job learning, traditional classroom training. Okay, so this slide we have just talked the position of talent management. So we have said that the identification of talent and long-term development. So most of the organizations adopt a two-way of strategy for hiring the talent. One is external hiring, and another one is internal development of the employees. So the talent management focus to both of these. If the people if the organization or employer is hiring talent from from external environment or the external out of organization, then they need to train those executives to fit into the culture of the organization. Okay, those though they have that functional expertise or the ready-made that talent exists within them, but the culturally fit to that organization is very important. This thing is not happen with the internal executives because they already working for longer time within the organization environment, so they are culturally fit or suit to that or environment. But the thing is that what are the critical role requirement is that I have mentioned in the competency model. What is meant by competency model? The requirement of the organization, okay, to that particular roles, that is nothing but the competency required for that role from the employee. Okay, so that competency model should be linked with the internal development program of that employee. So how the talent management program executes within the organization, and this chart says that how internal development happens. Okay, from employee managing the job at initial level, then managers managing the team, then managers manages the manager, and finally the managers managing the organization. So this is nothing but the internal development. Okay, so from now this is the concept, and last lecture we stop here. So, what is the purpose of talent management? Talent management basic purpose, as we know, that to compete effectively in a complex and dynamic environment to achieve sustainable growth. So here, effectively is important because we have to use minimum resources. Okay, and we need to gain a maximum gain or output. So that is nothing but the effectively in a complex and dynamic environment. When we see when we say this term complex and dynamic environment, I think that I can relate with the current situation of COVID-19. That is a major complex and dynamic environment. People don't know what will be the critical roles in upcoming days. Okay, how the company create a value in the market because they don't know about the product. Okay, upcoming business models, upcoming process, because most of the employees are working from home. How they can shift from the traditional policy, workforce policy or workforce manpower HR policies to the upcoming policies. Okay, because the complete traditional approach get fails here. Lean, we can say lean processes, which is having some set of process procedures, and accordingly that the people are working. But currently we cannot say that this is applicable for the current environment, because current situation is a complex and dynamic. Once again, I can use that term VUCA. VUCA is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So that terms relate to the current environment, and the purpose of TM is to compete effectively in a complex and dynamic environment to achieve sustainable growth. Sustainable growth is the important one, and I don't know how organizations work on the existing model and transform it to a more sustainable model in upcoming days. Okay, second point is about the purpose of TM to develop leaders for tomorrow from within an organization. So most of the major thing in talent management is to create the future leaders, okay, who will run the organization, who will execute the policies, who will create that critical roles or the team, dynamic team within the organization that will give their full potential to in a development of the organization. So that is the major task that we called it as a succession planning, developing a future leaders. Third point, to maximize employee performance as a unique source of competitive advantage. So here, how you can maximize the employee performance. So there are two approaches that we are going to learn in upcoming slides. That is inclusive and exclusive approach. Currently, the most of the organizations are using blended approach mode. So first of all, what is inclusive and exclusive? Exclusive approach of talent management is nothing but you are particularly focusing on few chunks or few group of people, employees within the organization who's having a more potential. Okay, and how they can identify that those employees are more potential. There are two methods. One is 360-degree feedback method, and another one is that assessment center and development center concepts are there in performance management, where people are go into the assessment center. They come across with various tests like group discussion, presentation, critical role method. There means on role virtual role method, where people works in a real business scenario there, and from that the final outcome comes that the employee, those who are more potential gets a high rating, and those who are least potential, they get the least rating. So that is the concept of assessment and assessment center and development center that we are going to see in performance management. That unit is there with for talent management. So we'll see that, but this is an introductory recap that there are two ways that we can identify the potential employees within the organization. One is the 360-degree feedback method, and another one is assessment and development center. So to maximize employee performance as a unique source of competitive advantage, that tells about this description. This concept about people development, maximum potential employees development within the organization context. Okay, next point, to empower employees, cut down on high turnover rates, attrition ratio should be reduced, and reduce the cost of constantly hiring new people. So automatically, once you work on attrition ratio, automatically you can control the cost of that hiring new people and give training to them. So that is the major purpose of talent management. Okay, so any point of view from your side, guys, other than these points that you can share according to your experience, that sir, this is the one more purpose of talent management that you come across within your organization. Yes, please. Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any point that you have to put? The purpose of talent management that you think according to your point of view. What apart from these points?
No, sir.
No.
No,
Anybody?
my
Yes?
side is
No.
clear.
Okay, great. Okay, so expansion
So
of
I
okay, okay. Tell me.
Okay, so I also believe talent management, the right hire also intends who fits into the culture as well, because there
Yeah.
can be a possibility ki like the person might be really good in excellent in the if for example into a sales in a sales profile, he might be really good in delivering numbers, but when it
Mhm.
comes as a culture fitment, it goes as there is a gap. So right now in the current scenario, people really look that the person is also a culture fitment type of person.
Okay, so I do agree with you. There is one concept of potential grid, performance grid. okay, in talent acquisition. So there we can just comparing the potential candidate and the the performance and potential. So as most of the thing, what happens, the employees are more potential, that the employee have the potential within him to accomplish that task, but his performance is not coming out, as you are saying, the more potential candidate, but that candidate is not suits to the culture of the organization. So how you can tackle this issue, or how you can develop one plan, how you can develop such type of employees, that we are going to see in talent acquisition. Once you hire, how you can develop those employees. So I do agree that some employee candidates are there, or employees are there, though they have the potential within them, or ability within them to perform a task, but the performance is not up to mark. So most of the time this thing happens in a traditional approach, HR approach. Basically, what happens? Such employees are, that they are not taken into consideration, and they are fired from the organization because they are not adding any value to the organization development. But in a new strategic HRM approach, most of the organization think that if they hire any employee, then they are not hiring those employee for firing them. Okay, so if they have any the gap, competence skill gap, or the competency gap, so they need to look into in a strategic way how they can develop those employee, accordingly. So that is the more new concept of how the HR people looking towards those employees, those who are underperformer within the organization context. Okay, great. Any more? No. Please acknowledge, so I can have a
No,
two-way
no, sir.
conversation
No,
directly.
sir. No, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So yeah. So the new slide says about the expansion of talent management term. So why it is? So as I said, that talent management was once solely associated with recruitment. Initially, when we see when the talent management approach come, they are related with the recruitment thing. That is nothing but the acquisition thing. You need to recruit the talented people. That's it. There the talent management ends. Okay, but in the recent years, the talent management evolved into a common and essential management practices. Because why? The talent management linked with all the key processes or the areas like organizational capability, okay, workforce and succession planning, individual performance and development. Like if you want to give, if I want to give the example like that, talent management linked with your training and development, talent management linked with your performance management, talent and management link with your career development plan, TM link with your compensation and benefit plan, that is reward management, then engagement of the employee. So talent management linked with everything within the organization. So that is the important aspect of talent management in the current scenario when we see the expansion of talent management now. So next part is, okay, the importance of talent management. As I said, attract top talent. Okay, engage employees. The description is given below. You can read the example of it. What is that engagement? Attract to top talent. You'll get that meaning. So employee motivation is another one. Okay, if employees motivated, then the employees are more satisfied and they are more engaged. Okay, so retain top talent, that is important one, because if you lose your leaders, your executives, then you're losing your pillars. That is an important concern for most of the organization. They need to retain their executives or the talented employees within the organization. Okay, continuous coverage of critical role. So what is that critical role according to you? Can you tell me? What is meant by critical role? Can you give me one example? This is your organization, sir. This is your critical. You remember we have done one activity in HRM course, that subject, that you identified the core functions of your organization.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just you have to,
Yeah,
yeah, you have
that's
to link.
just took me a time.
Yeah, so you have to link this term critical roles with that core functions. Now tell me and give me one example if you can map your learning.
So, for example, in our organization, uh, training and development and change management is something wherein the every employee is connected, because based take it the current scenario only, the COVID situation only, you can take it. There have been changes in terms of the strategy that we had for the year when we had planned it in the March, and as compared to now. So the whole concept, like when I have to talk about physiotherapy, physical physiotherapy, it is required that the patients need to come to our clinic. So in order for survival now, what we have done is we've started doing televisits. The costs have been reduced, and lot of other parts, many of the things on at each and every zone. Even in terms of the salary, if I have to tell you, if I have to tell that I do the working, we've opened after 3 or 4 months. The clinics have started functioning, and in order to manage the people are like, right now employees are like, they don't have money even to manage the travel expenses. So what we've done is we've started paying them weekly, in order to keep them motivated and come to work. So this is something that we have done. So I could say, as per, like, from these are the two particular roles, if I have to talk about how critical it would be.
So, can you tell me how much in numbers or in percentage, how many critical roles are exist within in organization? In a general way, I'm asking. It's not a specific sector or specific organization. Generally, if I said, you tell me ki, how much percentage critical roles exist within the organization in percentage. If you have to rate, 100 roles are there. Okay, 100 roles are there. How many from that 100 roles are the critical roles?
Maybe 70%.
Okay, 70%. Any more?
So even I agree, 60% for 60% at least, I agree. 70 is goes as a too much number. 60% I
Okay,
agree.
okay. Great. So the critical roles are aligned with the core functions of your organizations. I will just give the brief idea, and then we'll in upcoming sessions or in upcoming topics we'll discuss in more detail. You have to perform one assignment also, means like on this critical role approach. It's a initial requirement of your talent management. So you'll get a more clear idea about it. I will share some resources about that value critical roles and how you can map these critical roles with the talent within exist which is exist within the organization. Okay, so back to our critical role concept. Critical roles are aligned with your core functions that is important for the organization survival. Okay, so without that functions the organization cannot survive, and those roles are handling those functions. Okay, so that is nothing but the critical role. So the company will be equipped for tasks that requires critical skills and have a plan to address the critical roles and highly specialized roles in the workforce to its employee. In generalized way, I can give the example like in the current scenario, most of the organizations comes on online platform. They are most of the employees are working from home. So the major the concerns is the cyber security. Everyone is concerned about their data security, how people organization can protect their data. Okay, so the cyber security function is coming into focus or into a top function of the organization, and the cyber security expert is the critical role of that organization nowadays. Okay, now you're getting how you can identify it, because pre-COVID cyber security role is concerned. Okay, it's required because most of the organization having the intranet facility within the organization. Their data is protected with various firewalls and various algorithms. Okay, so there is no any external threat to that organization that they can steal those data. Okay, but nowadays the remote working creates some major loopholes for the organization data protection policy. So they are thinking that cyber security expert will become to those list of critical roles. You get the clear example how every organization are trying to identify the critical roles as per their current requirement and needs. Got the clarification?
Yes,
Example
sir.
is okay. Okay,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
great.
sir.
So next is increase employee performance. That is the another aspect of talent management. Okay. So as I said, there are two approaches: inclusive and exclusive approach. When I said exclusive approach, that we are focusing to a particular sets of people working within the organization. Okay, that is a traditional approach of talent management. A current approach is like that. Exclusive, that is exclusion. Inclusive is nothing but you are including all the employees of the organization for the talent management program. So that is the inclusive approach. Now blended approach is nothing but you are just diversity and inclusion. You are just using those that keyword, that you are identifying a diverse workforce within your the total employee set. And once you identify those diverse workforce, then you are just particularly developing those workforce for fulfilling the future requirement. So that is the another way that how you can increase the employee performance. Finally, the improve business performance and higher client satisfaction. Once your employees are satisfied, your clients, your customers are satisfied. That is the term that most of the organization needs to understand. If they keep their employee satisfied, automatically that impact on the organization performance, and automatically it's impact the quality of services or the product that is coming out from that organization, and that is indirectly the customers are satisfied with those process. So these are the overall importance of talent management. How the talent management is an important term within the organization context with different processes. Next, features of talent management strategy. So a clearly defined and communicated corporate strategy will, the pay for the talent management strategy closely aligned to the business objective. Okay, here in this statement there are three terms. One is corporate strategy, another one is talent management strategy. I'm talking about these two lines. One is corporate strategy, another one is talent management strategy, and the third one is the business objective. Can you just tell me what is the difference between business strategy and corporate strategy, first of all? Then we'll come to the talent management strategy and business objective. Can you tell me corporate strategy and business strategy, what is the difference? Yes, quick response, please. What is the difference between corporate strategy and business strategy? If you don't know, please tell me. I don't know, sir, so I can carry on. Anybody?
So maybe business strategy is focusing on your core business and how to improve it. So strategizing that,
Okay.
and a corporate
So, no, sorry.
strategy.
Hmm. Carry on, carry on. Yes.
No, I'm not sure about it. You can go
Okay.
on.
Any more?
So, yeah, so corporate strategy might be with the related to only the organization or the company, and business might be the entire business unit. For
Okay.
example, if I have to
Yeah.
say about,
Hmm.
for example, if I have to say about the salon industry, like so salon, like overall, what's the current like competitors, markets and all. The name ideally, like this is just uh, like assumption that I'm just assuming that this can be a thing. The name says like corporate is for the organization and business is ideally any one of the business unit.
Okay, now you're right. You're right. I will give you a more clarification on this. The corporate strategy and the business strategy. So consider take an example of Tata Group. Okay, Tata Group having how many organizations or the various dealing with various different functions. Can you just name it 4 Tata Group's companies?
So lifestyle is there.
Hmm.
Then food. How I don't know. Retail. Retail. So retail and lifestyle would be the same.
Yes. No, no. It's
Retail.
a different. It's a different. If you are only focusing on daily use FMCG products. Okay.
Okay. So
Uh,
hospitality also will stand different, na then?
yeah. Hospitality is one sector. Another one is automobile. You can say. Third
Automobile,
one is
yes. Fourth.
you can
Steel
say
manufacturing.
steel manufacturing.
Steel and
Yeah.
electricity,
Fourth, you can say the energy sector.
energy sector, right?
Okay. So if we think about the corporate strategy is nothing but all those 4 businesses are covered in that strategy. Okay. That is nothing but the corporate strategy. And what is the business strategy? Business strategy deals with every business alone, standalone. Like Tata still have their own business strategy or their own vision, mission, or the objective for those business. Okay. So for automobiles have their own vision, mission, business strategy, objectives. In the same way, if we say the Tata Group have the TCS also. Okay, so they have their own policy, business strategy, but all those businesses are comes under one common corporate strategy structure. So that is the difference. You got the things. So when we are designing any talent management strategy, so now tell me that talent management strategy should align with corporate strategy or business strategy.
It's business strategy.
Business strategy priority given to corporate or business.
So I think business strategy. It will depend upon the business functions.
Mhm. Any more? Okay, so you can say the talent management strategy are mostly closely connected with the business strategy, and there is no need to connect with corporate strategy also, because corporate strategy is the core strategy, the value, you can say the core values of those organizations, which directly link with all their business groups. Okay, without that values, the culture cannot create within those businesses. So the culture matters important once if you want to grow the talent management. So indirectly we can say dotted line and strong line, straight line. We can say dotted line connection should be with the corporate strategy, and the straight line connection should be with the business strategy, because that is the core things. Business strategy are directly linked with the talent management strategy. So you're right. So this is the example. Next, the creating a talent management strategy start with workforce planning. Okay, a process of analyzing the current workforce and capabilities to determine future workforce needs. So workforce planning is the first priority. Okay, so to carry with your talent management strategy. So what is the workforce planning? Workforce planning is the process of analyzing the current workforce which exists within your organization, determining the future workforce need. Okay, with various techniques like data analytics. One part is there. Predictive analytics are used here to predict the future needs of the organizations, then identifying the gap between the present and the future requirement, and implementing solution so that organization can accomplish its mission, goals, and strategic plan. Okay, while designing the future plan now, we need to ready with contingency plan also, means contingent plan also, like no any business or organizations can guess that COVID will come in 2020, and they don't think this aspect of COVID-19 that will impact in such a way to a complete business environment. So they fail here, and most of the organizations, those who are not created a culture of agile culture, I can say. What is the agile term say? What the agile mean?
Agile means
Agile
ability to move quickly and easily.
easily. So if the culture if not that much agile in those organizations, they are not able to cover that losses that they suffer from this COVID-19 pandemic. So it's very difficult to those organizations to survive in upcoming days. Those don't have the agile culture. or agile workforce, we can say. So that is an important one. So while considering the future workforce need, we need to think about the agility factor. So you have to create a more dynamic workforce, agile workforce, and the culture also seems to like that agile environment. So identifying the gap between the present and future, implementing solutions so that an organization can accomplish its vision, goals, and strategic plan. It's about getting the right number of people with the right skill employed in the right place at the right time. Okay, that is the more important statement for most of the organization, that we need to hire the right number of people with the right skills employed and right place at the right time at the right cost. That is very important, and on the right contract to deliver an organization short-term and long-term objective. So this is the features of talent management strategy. I want to just brief you about the workforce planning. What are the stages of workforce planning? The workforce plan will determine appropriate talent management activity and typically include what workforce plan includes. First one is recruitment. Okay, then building a talent pool, succession planning, lifelong learning, leadership development, career management, performance management, employee engagement, and employee retention. All these are the part of your syllabus that you are going to learn in upcoming days. That is career planning, succession planning, performance management, career management, okay, employee retention, okay, and engagement, okay, building a talent pool. All these are the part of workforce plan, and workforce plan is linked with the talent management strategy. So this is workforce planning process. So what you see, what are the steps? Can you read for me? Any one of you? Please read all this process from understand the organization point. Anyone?
Sunny, you want to read or
Yes,
should I read?
I'll read. Understand the organization and its environment. Analyze the current and potential workforce. Determine future workforce needs. Identify workforce gap against future need. Action to address shortage, surplus, or skill mismatches. Monitor and evaluate actions.
Okay, great. So one by one we'll discuss. Understand the organization and its environment. So what is environment? How you can guess it? What is meant by environment?
So environment, it can be with the people that we are working.
Okay, so you can
People you are surrounded with.
okay, you can say, but in a broad way, if I say you or environment is categorized in two types. What is that?
Internal and external.
Great, great, great. So first of all, before workforce plan, okay, or the start of workforce plan, you have to understand the internal and external environment. So what is that? Okay, basically it finds what does the organization structure look like and what's likely in future. So this organization structure deals with the external environment. So how you're growing in upcoming days, as the most of the interviewer asked the question to the candidate, where you look yourself after 5 years or 10 years. In the same way, organization needs to ask where they may see the organization growth after 5 years or 10 years. Initially, the organization deal in one business. If in upcoming 5 years or 10 years, if they are dealing with more businesses under one umbrella, okay, that they need to think, okay, and accordingly they need to plan. Listen, we are aligning all these concepts with the workforce planning. You are estimating the workforce planning as per your requirement for the future, not a current need. Most of the organization, what they think, as the project come, accordingly they just hire, start the recruitment. Okay, so just in time recruitment we can say. जब प्यास लगती है तब कुआं हम dig करते हैं, खोदते हैं. Okay, so in that way the current approach are there, most of the organization, but it's not a proper approach. Okay, accordingly they will not get the benefit for a long term. They will get benefit for a short term for that project, but for a long term it's very costly for them. Okay, Then this part says that what are the plans to increase productivity, including changes to the organization structure and processes. As I said that if the organization needs to grow, they need to open more business units in diverse products, then they need a more skilled workforce in upcoming days. Like the current most of the organizations struggling with the technological workforce, like the people from data analytics, the people from artificial intelligence, the people from IoT background, they require that skilled workforce, but it's very difficult nowadays they get the potential candidate, because that this concept is new recently. From last 5 to 6 years this concept emerges in a broad way in organization context. So, and finally, the intention to introduce or update technology, remembering people remain at the heart of the work. Okay, so these are the main features that they need to focus externally and internally. What the talent they have. What happens mostly, the organization search the talent outside the organizations, and they don't see the people, those who are working from couple of years within their organization, they have that much talent. They needs to do some research whether the people, those who are there within the organization, they have that much skill set or the competency or the potential that they can upgrade themselves for the future needs of the organization. And after that they need to go outside. What do you think, from out to in or in to out? What type of approach the organization needs to adopt for understanding the organization and workforce planning? In out
In
or
to
out?
out.
In to out? Anybody else?
In to out.
Please give me one first answer. In out or out in? Sunny given the answer, na? In out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. In out is okay? Everybody is okay with this approach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So second one is analyze the current and potential workforce. So identifying the knowledge, skill, demographics, talent profiles, attrition rate, and other factors such as employee views on job security, their satisfaction, or why the people are leaving organizations. Okay, that comes under this analysis, the current and potential workforce. So the current and the potential workforce which exists within the organization, they need to just overlook all these aspects. Collecting and analyzing workforce data can provide organization with information they need to develop capability in those areas. So, so analyzing the current requirement of the workforce is important while designing the workforce planning for future. So as I say, that is in out approach. That is very important when we understand the internal environmental setup of organization, and then we analyze the current and potential workforce which exists within the organization. Okay, then we move towards the determine future workforce needs. That comes the competency model. Okay, so competency model is nothing but, so you have to identify the future skills and the capabilities and predict the time frame that you require those the future requirement. So that should be planned in a very effective way. They need to build one competency model. That competency model should update regularly as per 3 years competency model or 5 years competency model. You can build what type of competency you required, what type of roles, critical roles you required in upcoming 5 years or 10 years, and accordingly you need to build some mention some competencies required for to fulfill that critical roles, and then you have to include it in the workforce planning. So scenario planning can show different futures affecting people requirements. Scenario planning is nothing but some scenes that you're creating, that you're thinking that we are opening one business unit for that particular product. Like most of the companies, like Asian Paints. Asian Paints come into the hand sanitizers. Okay, you cannot imagine that Asian Paints can deal with sanitization product. Can you read this news? Asian Paints started manufacturing the sanitization product. Have you read this news?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So you
no,
can
sir.
search on Google. So Asian Paint come up with new products, okay, of sanitizer, or you can say some like surface cleaning that insecticides. Okay, all such type of liquids, the products they are come up with. So what is this? This is nothing but they are just thinking that they need to open and manufacturing such type of product. They require the upgraded workforce. Okay, that they can produce such type of products, or they can handle such type of machineries, that they can produce such type of products in a very quick time. Okay, so such type of planning is we can call as a scenario planning in a scene basis, in a snap way basis, like movies having some scenes, particular scenes, and accordingly the movie grows. Okay, जैसे मूवी चलती है सीन वाइज, various frames are there, and frames, collection of frames is called a scene. Okay, in the same way business needs to understand the upcoming 5 years, their scenes, what type of scenes they are going to play the roles in various scenes, and according to that scene they need to estimate the workforce, that we call as a scenario planning. Such exercise can help to formulate contingency and adaptive plan to mitigate potential risk to achieving future goals. Okay, so most of the organizations started implementing 6 or 7 years before the agile culture within the organization. So the reason is different. Not they are just thinking that such pandemic will come in 2020 and they will for just keeping this scene in front of them, they are just developing their workforce or creating their work culture. Not like that. Most of the organization, they need to stay in the competition, and to stay in the competition they need a potential workforce, skilled workforce, agile workforce, and agile workforce can grow in agile work environment. So they started to build such type of agility environment within the organization context, and that the benefits they get in 2020. Okay, they can easily shift from the traditional environment to the agile environment as per the external conditions. Okay, next steps comes identify workforce gap against future need. So again, this is nothing but the contingency planning. Okay, so how you can identify gaps in skills and knowledge to deliver future business plan. Okay, if Asian Paints, they think that they want to come into some sanitization products, so that is the business need. They are coming in upcoming 2 years with more products of sanitization. Okay, so how can they grow their business? They can grow their business with talented workforce. So they need to identify the gaps. Okay, the skills. Okay, and the knowledge of their existing workforce. And if they feel that gap is there, and they need to fulfill that gap within the particular time frame, they can go with internal development. And if they feel that they are not able to give that much training, or the potential of that employee is not exist within the organization, that they go for the external hiring. Okay, so that is nothing but the planning, keeping in the mind the future roles. Most of the they are just thinking about to plan involve great use of technology and requires greater digital awareness. So another example, like the people, as I said, they required more digital people, technical people within the organization, because technology comes as a critical function of the organization nowadays. Most of the organizations, the technological department dealing with the HR aspect also. Before they are only in the service role, service providers role, okay, maintenance role. But nowadays, this technology functions linked with the strategy of the organization. You're getting? So what is your point of view? Pre-COVID, how you can see towards the technology department, technical department of your organization? Can you tell me? How you look towards technical department of your organization pre-COVID, I'm asking.
So pre-COVID, it was like it was said that working from without what you say, an office
Pre
station is required. Pre-COVID, an office station, like a person is required to come to office and work. It's not possible to work from home. Basically, remotely working is not possible.
No, what I'm asking you, pre-COVID, okay, pandemic, what is the role of your technical department? Every organization have technical department, or you can imagine without technical department your organization run. If technical department is not there, some people are there who can handle all technical stuff like your workspace, your computer, personal computers, ready with software, some
Servers.
servers. Okay, so some people are handling those things, and I want to say that pre-COVID, this technical department have the least role in organization, development. They have the role of only what to give the support services in case of technical issues. That's it. But nowadays, after post-COVID, the technical department or the technical people within the organization, whether the organization deals with belongs to a service sector or in a manufacturing sector, the technical people emerges like a critical role or the critical function of the organization, and they are aligned with the strategy of the organization, because most of the organizations going with the analytics part, artificial intelligence part, IoT part, because they don't want to depend on the completely depend on the workforce, human resource. Nowadays they are just trying to decrease the dependability of on the human resource within the organization. They need to more automotive. Okay, previously we are in semi automotive mode. इन परसेंटेज कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगा 20% ऑटोमेशन होगा, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगा 80% होगा, बट नाउ द परसेंटेज इज फिक्स. द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नीड मिनिमम 50% ऑटोमेशन. बिकॉज क्यों ये 50% ऑटोमेशन चाहिए? द रीजन इज दैट करंट सिचुएशन आप देख रहे हो कि the people employees are not able to go into the office and they perform their work. So how in manufacturing side, how the people how they can run their businesses? I'm talking about manufacturing sector, not in service sector. Service sector they can manage from work from home, but in manufacturing sector it's very difficult. How people can work from home? The laborers, how they can work from home? So such type of organization needs to totally max to max they need to shift to the automation path. And to provide that automation, they required the skilled workforce, technical workforce, and the technical department plays the important role in such type of automation. That I want to say. So identify workforce gap against future needs. That is the example and explanation about this part. Next is action to address shortage, surpluses, or skill mismatches. So what is that? An agile workforce who can adapt to change will contribute greatly to the change-ready organization, which can proactively restructure as a result of progress. That is happening in nowadays. Most of the time, what happen? Action to address shortages, surpluses, or skill mismatches. So for this, the mandatory requirement is the agile work culture. If it is not there, then it's very difficult to fulfill the shortage of workforce or shortage of skill mismatches in a very short time frame. Then most of the organization needs to hire such type of people from outside, and the hiring cost is more than developing cost within the organization, because people develop themselves on job. There is no need to give them extra time or extra training. Training is there, but it's, as I said in that chart, 20% part is there of training, off-job training, but 80%, 70% is on-job training. So the training cost required, internal development is very, very less than hiring those people from the outside, because negotiation happens. HR needs to negotiate with the talented people from the outside. The demand is very much. Most of the organization requires such type of talented people, and they are just bargaining. Okay, so they need to invest a lot of money in such type of thing. So this part says about this. And finally, the monitor and evaluate action. So what is that? A set of actions should be developed and agreed with the appropriate support, and the information for managers and regular review of the outcomes. So the monitor should be on a regular basis. It's important that clear evaluation process should be designed and embedded into all stages of the process. So जितने भी processes है within the organization, जितने भी functions है, all this workforce planning process should align with all these processes, and continuous monitoring evaluation needs to be there. Then only you can guess it. At last moment पे आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि चलो the manager of the finance department please come and give me what type of workforce planning you require for upcoming years. This happens in the traditional approach, but not review meeting में नहीं होगा अभी, ये daily basis पे होगा, weekly basis पे होगा, monthly basis पे होगा. The reason is that the current situation, it's very drastic and dynamic. They need a skilled manpower on urgent basis, as the product taste or the customer taste is changing from time to time. So that is about workforce planning process. We'll see this in detail in upcoming days. So introduction to workforce planning here we completed. Is any doubt on this slide? Please tell me. Is there any doubt?
No,
Or
sir.
any?
So just one question.
Yeah,
The manpower planning is different from workforce planning, now?
Manpower, you can say it's similar to it, but manpower planning, you can say it's a similar thing. Huh? It's not a different one. But traditionally, manpower, yeah, actually,
Because I still
manpower,
find a bit 10-20% different from.
yeah, that
It's not 100% same. I find 20-20% is it's different.
So what is the difference that I will clear? Manpower
Yeah.
planning is mostly focused to the current need, current requirement. Okay, and workforce planning, the future word will be added into the workforce planning. Workforce plan is nothing but a broader concept. Manpower planning is a current requirement that you get in a day-to-day operations and you fulfill it. Okay, your estimated yearly basis, you are estimating the manpower.
Yes. Manpower is estimated on yearly basis.
Yearly basis. So that is nothing but a short-term approach. And
Okay.
workforce planning is nothing but including the short-term approach and the futuristic approach.
Okay.
Both comes under workforce planning. So why we link with this into the talent management? And the thing is that workforce planning, because talent management is a broader concept. When we say that we have to manage the current requirement also and the future requirement also. That's why workforce planning linked with the talent management, because we are thinking about future roles, executive roles. Succession planning is linked with this.
Okay.
Got the clarification?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Next. Okay, so this is the inclusive versus exclusive approach. Okay, so what is some organization develop an exclusive focus, segmenting talent according to need. That is the talent management process relates specifically to the key or high potential individual. Already I have discussed this approach, just I am reading the slide. Okay. The second is a recent trend has seen organization adopt more inclusive approach, creating a whole workforce focus on engagement and talent development. Okay. So this is nothing but a broader approach. Every employees are a part of that, talent management. And blended approach is nothing but often a blended approach is used in practice with attention paid to the engagement and development of all employees, but with a special focus given to a particular core group or groups of employees. That is nothing but the employees. What is the core group or group of employees? What you can say? What is that? A particular core group of employees. That is nothing but the critical role functions. The critical role which is linked with the core functions that people needs to be targeted in blended approach. Okay. So this is nothing.
Could you help with for the blended approach? Could you just help with an example?
Example, you can say like as I'm giving the example, like a core function is your IT people. Okay. And more, can you just tell me one more core function? Give me your organization
So
example.
the sales people.
Tell me
My organization's core people would be the physiotherapists, because these are the ones who are the ones who will be generating revenue for us. So we tend to be a support staff.
Yeah. Tell me 4 core functions of your organization, and in that 2 core functions. 4 functions of your organization, and in that 2 core functions should be there. Tell me.
You said 2. Sorry. Core. Can you repeat the question, sir?
Yeah. Step by step we'll go. Firstly, tell me the 4 functions of your organization. You can say finance function, finance, sales, and marketing. There are second, third one is service or anything that 4 functions that you have to name.
Okay. So finance is there, operations is there,
Okay.
admin, IT, and the clinical research team,
Okay. Clinical research
clinical
team,
team.
clinical team, IT, operation, and finance. These are the four functions. Now
Yes,
tell me, which
yes.
are the core functions? Two core functions.
Two core functions would be the clinical as well as the finance team, sir.
Okay. Now these are the two core functions, and now you need to identify the critical roles within those functions. In the clinical, what is that function name? Clinical research,
Yeah,
and another one is finance. Can you just mention one
finance.
role from this function? Critical role. How you are
Uh,
identifying the critical role? Without this role, your that function cannot exist within your organization. You need to tell
so
this role.
finance, I'm saying investment or budgeting of the finance of the yeah, investment or budgeting, I would say, on the finance part.
I'm not asking about the now function or process. I'm asking about the role. Like manager role, you can say या कोई भी आप role बता सकते हो within your finance department and the clinical research department.
Uh, Clinical research. So clinical research, I would say, in order to what you say, the core function would be uh,
Core role.
training, training, and what is the current
Research and
market?
development.
It is वही research and development.
ठीक है. I will make it more easier. ठीक है. अभी आपने दो functions बताए. One is finance, the another one is your clinical research. In that, some processes are there which is more critical. Like in research and development, many processes are there within that those functions. Okay, there are some few processes, the critical processes where the people are working. ठीक है. अगर क्लिनिकल रिसर्च में कुछ रिसर्च एनालिस्ट होंगे, कोई द हेड होंगे, कोई
Yes,
बहुत सारे रोल्स
yes.
होते हैं रिसर्च में भी. उसमें से some people are there. Without those people you cannot run those functions. Okay, those people are the core groups or the group
Okay.
of employees.
Yeah.
ओके. फाइनेंस में है, फाइनेंस में कोई फाइनेंस में अगर ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल अगर देखना है तो मोस्टली कैन यू हेल्प मी इन दैट बिकॉज इन फाइनेंस
Receipt and payment.
receipt and payment is one process, so the people which is
Include
connected with those process,
with the
receipt and payment.
processes. Yeah.
Okay, those people are the core people within that core functions, so you need to target those people. Okay, and you need to grow them for the futuristic role. Okay, तो ये लोग आपको हेल्प करेंगे. अभी फ्यूचरिस्टिक रोल क्या हो सकता है? फॉर एग्जांपल करंटली यू आर इन सेमी ऑटोमेशन मोड. कुछ पार्ट ऑटोमेशन से होता है, कुछ पार्ट आपका मैन्युअली होता है. इन अपकमिंग डेज यू आर शिफ्टिंग, you are changing your complete that semi automation process to the automation process. Okay, so that the change management happens in future. So those people will play a catalyst role. Okay, to fulfill those change which should be happen within that core functions.
So
Are you getting it? Yeah.
I'm having one example. Like for example, nowadays in laboratories, they are using AppSureTrack for blood testing, means without human intervention. So I think it is an automation, completely automation,
Yes.
without human intervention.
Yes.
So this can be an example for future perspective.
Okay, so future perspective. Now your organization requires such a people, those who those people are comfortable with such type of automation in upcoming days. So they need to identify those people who will play the important role to implement such type of change within the organization, and they need to train them. They need to develop them. That is nothing but you are developing the talent. You are upgrading the talent of the people. Okay, existing people from one level to another level. Now you got it?
Okay.
Got the example?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So these are the three approaches. One is exclusive approach, inclusive approach, and blended approach, in which it is a combination of exclusive and inclusive approach. Is there any difficulty in this slide?
No, sir.
Okay, 5 minutes are remaining more for lecture session. Okay, so then we'll start our GD session. Okay. So involving the right people, it's important to include the right stakeholder in developing the talent management strategy and associated activities. Okay, Senior leaders and managers need to be actively involved in the whole talent management process and make recruitment, succession planning, ongoing development, retention of key employees their top priority. So this is one introductory slide why talent management is important and how you can involve the right people in developing the talent management strategy and the aligned process of your organization. So next. Okay, so there is one more concept, that is the talent management loop. Loop is nothing but, how will you define loop? Loop matlab kya hai? In layperson language, a sequence, you can say, a step by step execution. जैसे पाइपलाइन कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, पाइपलाइन क्या करता है, पाइप क्या करता है, एक लूप होता है, एक वैक्यूम होता है,
connected to one to another point.
Another point. So here there is a talent management loop. अगर आप देखेंगे तो how it proceeds, there are 6 main areas of the talent management loop. What is that? Attraction,
Planning,
attraction, planning.
Attraction.
Planning will come there, but attraction is first one. That is, if you want to link this with the traditional approach, that we can say recruitment. Attraction is nothing but the recruitment. Then identification. Okay, then development, then engagement, retention, and deployment. So one by one, I will explain you what is attracting the talent. Attracting a talent is nothing but the ability to attract external talent or internal talent, okay, depending upon how potential applicant views the organization. So here the employer brand plays the important role. Okay, how talented people are attracted towards the organization. I will give you two name of the organization. One is you can say Microsoft. Another one is Kagent Technology.
Google.
I will give you two options. Okay, one is Microsoft. Another one is Kagent Technology. Which company will you prefer? Which company will you prefer? Of course, Microsoft. Why? The reason is brand. The reason is that you not hear the name of Kagent Technology. If it is MNC also, the brand is not there. The brand is not exist in the business environment. So Microsoft is the branded company. So you always dream to do the job in Microsoft. That is nothing but the talent is attracted towards such type of brands. The creation of attractive employer brand and employee value proposition is an important factor in recruiting external talent. I'm talking about external talent. Internal people already they are employed. Okay, so attracting will not play the important role, but for retaining those employees, brand plays the important role. There are two different scenarios. Attracting is nothing but from external employee perspective for doing the job, and from internal employee perspective to retain that, to stay there within the organization. So here the brand is important. Second one is identifying talent. How will you identify the talent? So as I said, for identifying the talent, first of all, you need a competency model. You need a requirement. यार मुझे ये requirement है, मुझे ये skill set की जरूरत है in upcoming days. So that is nothing but workforce planning. Workforce planning plays an important role here in identifying the talent. The business critical role must be identified first. These are the leadership and specialist role. So executive role, that is the leadership role. And what is the specific role? Specialized role. As I said, the technological specialist, like data analytics. Okay, such type of roles are the specialist role, which will help organization to stay in competition or grow in organizational performance. Second, the process of succession planning helps many organizations to prepare potential leader to fulfill their potential. To fulfill their key position, the future key position. So identifying the internal employee for succession planning for a key position. That is another way. In which way we are talking? We are talking in two perspectives. One is from external employee, and another point of view is internal employee. Those are working within the organization, and the people, those who are not yet joined that organization. Accordingly, we are just analyzing this talent management rule. So attraction, already I have said, one is brand is important to attract the talented employee. and to retain the existing employee within the organization. Another one is identifying the talent. So for identifying the talent from outside the organization, you need, outside or inside, you need what? The competency model, your critical role, your critical functions within organization. Okay, so that plays an important role. Next step is identifying talented employee individual within the organization, and the robust performance management process is a valuable tool to identify the internal employee. So externally, you can identify employee with various interview processes, mapping the skills. Okay, that is a part. But how will you identify the people which exist within the organization? As I said earlier, that is one is 360-degree feedback, and another way is assessment center, where the employer sends employee for some sets of test, a different test the employee needs to give there, and based on that rating, the employer can identify the potential exist within the that employee. So next is developing talent. We complete with attracting. Another one is identifying. Now, how will you develop the talent? You attracted, you identified the talent. Then you need to develop, na? So talent development should be linked to other learning and development initiatives, including informal as well as formal learning intervention. So as I said, on-job and off-job training plays an important role for developing those employees, because what happens if you directly put your employee on job training, so it's very difficult those employees to understand the new process, okay, which is there within the organization. So firstly, you need to give the off-job training, induction training, you can say, or some introductory training. So what is that technology? How our organization going to implement this change? Why this change is important in organizational perspective? So you need to give some outline of that change, and then you have to put those employees within the organization that on-job training program. So that is one, two types, on-job and off-job development talent. Fourth one is engaging talent. So engaging talent is very important, as how you can engage the talent. Employees who have good quality jobs, experience, some autonomy, or manage well, or see clear link between their role and organization objective will call as an engaged employee. What do you say? You are working in different companies. What is the definition of engagement, engaging yourself within our organization? How will you define this term in your perspective? Engaging talent, can you tell me your personal experience? I'm asking you, how will you define engaging talent within the organization? How you're engaged within your role? How employer play important role? Your employer play important role to engage you in organization. Can you just mention some experience about your organization?
Involving in some welfare activities, like we can say group medical insurance, or even some sort of activity in which all the employees need to perform. That would be a employee engagement activity, like a program conducted for the in-house team. Yeah.
Anybody else?
It can be engaging to a project.
Engaging to a challenging project, you can say like this.
Yeah.
Challenging project. So some employees require the challenging task to work on it. Another,
To prove their skill or ability.
okay. So yes. So basically, most of the one basic term is autonomy. Your freedom needs to be given in the organization context. If the employer gives the freedom to work in their workspace to the employee, then that is one, you can say, one factor that you can say the employees are more engaged in such type of environment. If the autonomy is not given, so what happens most of the time, the manager is always calling the employee and asking about the status of the project, That should be there, but some sort of autonomy is given to the employee to fulfill their task, to accomplish their task. So that autonomy plays important role. Then the another aspect is that the manager responsibility is that to convey the clear information about the vision and mission of the organization to the employee. Because what happens mostly, everyone is working in the organization context for their individual benefit as well as the organization benefit. So as we say, if I'm an employee, I'm working for some organization, then first priority is my individual goal, individual objective. So whatever it may be, it might be to gain the experience, it might be to gain some monetary benefit, or it might be to gain some position within that organization hierarchy. So that is my individual goal. And what is the organization goal? That my employee give me a good quality output with a minimum resources. That is the organizational goal. So that matchup, that gap should be fulfilled by the manager. That clear vision, clear link between the role and the organization objective should be maintained. Then we can say that employee is highly engaged. Most of the, I think, most of the time, what happens? The employee don't know what is the objective, why he's working for that role. Okay, so that's why that the confusion about that role create a disengagement of that employee, less interest, okay, doing that work. So that should be a need to focus. Fifth one is retaining talent. Okay, so retaining talent is nothing but how you can retain the talent by investing in development activities, as one of you say that by giving some benefits. Okay, engaging is something different term, because engaging is the introvert term. Introvert, as I say, extrovert and introvert. Introvert is nothing but which is coming from inside. You feel happy to do the work, and extrovert is nothing but for some benefit you are working, for some that donkey and carrot, one story is there na? The carrot is put in front of donkey, and automatically that donkey moved towards that carrot, and the boss who is handling that donkey, automatically he go from one place to another place. So in the same way, organization manager don't feel that he's handling that donkey is nothing but the employees, carrot is nothing but some benefits is given to that employees. And by giving such type of benefit, the managers or the organizations get the work done from the employee. So this is not engagement. This is for म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट. तो इससे क्या होगा, एक बार इंडिविजुअल का बेनिफिट फुलफिल हो गया तो वो छोड़ देगा कंपनी, वो छोड़ देगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. So this is not stay for a long term. So retaining is very important. So how will you retain the employee? By a well-proof career development plan of the employee. Then reward and recognition can also play important role in retaining talent. Reward strategy should ensure a good mix of reward which focus to intrinsic and extrinsic motivational priorities. मॉनिटरी भी चाहिए और जॉब सेटिस्फेक्शन भी चाहिए. एक्सट्रिंसिक इज नथिंग बट मॉनिटरी, आपका सैलरी हाइक मिल जाएगा, आपको प्रमोशन मिल जाएगा, तो ये एक्सट्रिंसिक बेनिफिट है. इंट्रिंसिक इज नथिंग बट यू फील मोर एंगेज विद दैट जॉब रोल. ओके, दैट इज इंट्रिंसिक. तो ये दोनों का मिक्सचर चाहिए व्हेन यू डिजाइनिंग रिवॉर्ड एंड रिकॉग्निशन पॉलिसी. Okay, so this is it. It also includes recognition, incentive, rewarding contribution to success, and acknowledging an individual value to the organization. So this is a part of retaining talent. Another one is deploying talent. So deployment is the most effective when we use it as a part of workforce planning. Longer term investment in skills and development and with a supportive mobility policy is nothing but like when you deploy the talent. Deployment is nothing but it is related to workforce planning. As I said, manpower planning is very short term, yearly basis it happens. Workforce planning is a futuristic, long-term planning. Okay, and deploying talent is nothing but you are designing a talent management strategy for a long-term basis. So, is there any problem, guys, here? Will they see this slide in next lecture? Okay, because we are running with our time. Okay, so we'll start our GD session before that, I want to ask you: is there any difficulty to identify, I mean, understand this concept? What is talent management loop? Okay, what is inclusive and exclusive approach of talent management, and what is workforce planning process? Okay, so in upcoming days, as a part of mini project, you have to do lots of activities. Okay, hands-on activities. I will try to get some toolkits also. Okay, from standardized toolkits. If it is there, then it's okay. You can also help in that if you have any toolkits with you, because you are the HR specialist guys. So we can use it, and we can just build a proper strategy, well strategy on that particular process. Okay, so we'll stop here. I will stop screen sharing. I don't know if it's stopped or not.
Yes, that stopped.
It's stopped now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Can you come up with your videos, please, if you don't mind? Because GD happens front to front. It's not like that. Yes. Sunny. So it's nice that some people are there. So it's very easy to talk one to one. If the people are 30, 40, it's very difficult, to chat with each other.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Okay, great. So we'll start with our topic. So what is the topic? I shared my screen. Just a minute. My video is there. Sorry.
Your screen, yeah, your video is there.
I'm able to, okay. Only 3 people are there. 4 people. One more kidhar hai?
One more.
Sunny is there.
Yes, sir.
Dipali is also there.
Dipali is there. Dipali, can you
Yes,
come? Okay, great. So fine. So can you just what I'm expecting, guys, as we are in a very small in numbers, on each lecture, one of you needs to play one moderator role. Moderator role means what? So you have to just make a points. You need to make a note, some running points throughout the lecture, and at last you have to brief it in a very short term. That is a learning outcome for every session. Like for example, today we have just seen various concepts of talent management loop. We have seen the what approaches. We have seen the process. Okay, so you need to just write down some points. Okay, in every week, one of you come voluntary, and they need to collect the points. And at last, the end of the session, they need to brief what you learned from today's session.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
From next week we can implement it. Okay, so for today's group discussion session, I will play a role of facilitator. Okay, I will monitor you guys. Okay, I will add some points within your discussion, but you have to completely control this GD. Okay, can you just tell me what is the GD title for today's session?
HR reshaping during COVID-19, KPMG.
Okay, KPMG point of view.
Yes.
Okay, why you're just off your videos? Please come. Or is there an issue?
So no,
There was an issue.
using the phone, so it's difficult
Okay,
to write.
if there is an issue, then you can off the video. It's not like that. It's compulsory.
right.
But you need to contribute. Why I'm just requesting you to on the video. The thing is that I want to check out the involvement of you guys. How you are involving yourself in GD.
Next time I'll use the laptop, so it will be easy for me.
Okay, so you're using mobile phone, no?
Yeah, that's why I'm writing. That's why I'm keeping the video off there.
Okay, so just start. Who will introduce? Means we'll start the introduction to our today's GD topic. Please start. Please take the initiative. We'll introduce.
Okay, so I speak. This is the first time. So the case study was about KPMG. KPMG ideally in the current scenario, like since COVID-19. So how KPMG like
Guys,
identifies
sorry.
critical areas.
Sorry to interrupt. You can just off your videos. I
Yeah.
think there is an problem with the bandwidth. Okay, you can off the videos.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sunny, you can off your video. Now you
Yes,
can
sir.
start. Yeah.
Okay, so the KPMG's focuses like how in this situation COVID-19, how businesses are learning to change whatever they had planned in the past before this pandemic could arise, and what are the major three important areas that they have focused in for their organization. The first one would be compassionate leadership. Second is pragmatic yet agile business. Third is managing employee welfare.
Hmm.
So, if I have to talk about compassionate leadership, the what do you say? Uh, uh, the shishya, the shishyas are dependent upon their gurus. If in this particular scenario, this is the situation that for the organization expects the leaders to be approachable towards their team and always be connected. Then have an empathy and be a good listener. uh, and also they have several personal or professional related problems. So over here, like the earlier scope was like you need to uh, give questions like give scenarios that the solution has been directly been resolved by the issue itself. So over here the leader is also responsible to help them with the solutions if when if the employee is getting stuck somewhere, and to be engaged with them whether physically, mentally, uh, like by sending safety related measures, keeping them intact. How are they doing? Well, is everybody safe in their family homes? Like, are they safe? If they are traveling somewhere, how is the situation? Understand more about the like business is important, but also the safety of the person also comes as a priority. So this is where yeah.
Yes.
And
Next.
another thing would be the yeah.
Yeah. So next, anybody? Alicia, Dipali, Sunny, you? So compassionate leadership. What you want to put your thought process on this? So why it is important in the current situation, and how you look towards this compassionate leadership? There are three terms that Vensia say about that: empathy, humility, and resilience. So the people, the leader needs to be at a role of a mentor, a guru and shishya relationship. So they need to take a care of their employees. That is the one outcome that I come. Any other on compassionate leadership? Yes, Dipali, Sunny, Alicia.
So it can be like in current scenario,
Hmm.
like understanding like the employee's been working from home,
Hmm.
so he might be having a family life too.
Hmm.
So that should be kept in mind.
Hmm.
Yeah. While performing his routine tasks as well as his household chores activities.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah. So here he can be
It's
show sympathy.
listen, guys. I'm not asking any question to you. Just you no need to reply to me. It's a GD session. You can interact with yourself. You need to share your thought process on the points that I already shared with you. Or can I help with some points? As I said that there is one compassionate leadership. One point is there. Pragmatic, agile business approach is another one. Is and third one is welfare. 3 points. Just you need to discuss amongst yourself about these 3 points in COVID situation. Please.
So, pragmatic yet agile business is another. Why is it said as pragmatic? Because we understand this COVID situation is there and will be there for the upcoming 4 to 5 months more. Take it for an assumption, it will be for the entire year. But when we talk about like we can't sit in having this mindset that this is there. We also need to think about how we will be able to overcome this. So as it is mentioned and we spoke in the lecture also, agile business that is able to move quickly and easily. So yes, since we have now after the 3 months of lockdown we've opened, but still like there are a lot of challenges in terms of people coming at workstation. So as an employer, as an organization, we also need to see the safety measurement that our people are taking, like KPMG is looking in terms of even if they are coming to the office, what are the safety measurements are the employees themselves taking, and as an organization for the safety of the employees, since they are going to social distancing is one of the important part. So as an organization, how are we also taking certain measures to ensure that the mindset is there कि like uh, ये तो होने वाला है बट स्टिल हमारे एंड से तो हम ले ही रहे हैं, लेकिन कंपनी भी हमारे लिए क्या कर रही, कंपनी भी देख रही है लाइक cleanliness, 2 hours में sanitization, if
Also,
any
providing
person is
transport
coming, there is a
facility.
limitation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Sunny.
transport facility.
Yes. Any more, Sunny?
Yeah, it can be like providing sanitation, sanitizers and all in the premises. Then
Even the
to provide
transport
cleanliness
facilities.
more frequently compared to pre-COVID.
And even
Policies
after,
have been
like,
revamped.
Okay. Alicia?
Policies, SOPs have been revamped.
Okay, that comes under the welfare, employee welfare, I think. So yes, Alicia, what points that you need to add?
I was saying, after the COVID scenario, the transport facilities are involved in most companies. That is
Okay.
a important thing. Also, after the employer giving in everything, like from their side, it's equally the employee's responsibility to perform within this situation. So that, like, it's a new way of life currently, and we all need to take it positively. So, working in this environment is a challenge, but it has to be taken up, like the agility we spoke about. So yeah, so that was the another point that was covered in managing employee welfare. Even
Yes.
after being pragmatic, you still the employees need to manage it out from the beginning.
Okay, okay. So if we talk regards to employee perspective, all the points are okay. But when we're talking about the survival business model, okay, how you can survive? What are the agile business approach can
To
whether
accept digital
okay? So you can just
Yeah,
talk
digitalization.
about
training models,
huh?
training for digitalization, training sessions given so that they can function properly remotely. Also,
Mm-hmm.
equipment given for them to function, laptops, dongles, everything. IT on call basis available.
Dipali,
Yeah, so
yeah, can you
so
add?
technical support, yeah,
Yeah, please.
because that's the major thing now we are facing
Mm-hmm.
while working from home.
Okay, and in case of business models, what you can say?
So training staff to handle
Hmm.
things uh, work from home.
Okay, so you can say like the business. Just I want some your opinion points on this. That regards to business model. Okay, so the most of the organizations are trying to see the new, identifying the new way to revamp the overall business models, like innovative strategy. They needs to work on agile strategy. Agile term I'm using always because agility is nothing but the quick response to any challenging situation coming suddenly.
Yes, sir.
That is one. Another point that you are missing, that is one, supply chain. What is your opinion? Can you please just discuss on that? Supply chain issues, value creation, or pricing and cost structure. Because most of the time, what happens currently, the products, whatever the rates, the price of the products are there previously. The currently or post COVID, it's very difficult to sell similar product on the same rate.
Similar product on the same price, considering that the people who
Especially
were able to
electronic items. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One by one, you can
laptops, for
discuss.
example, take the case of laptops only, sir.
Hmm.
Like initially, like there were a lot of sales of laptops, but currently they are so much in demand that
Hmm.
there is production itself is going on hold because they don't have people.
Hmm.
Manufacturing and all, everything has got hampered, and the pricing also, considering the demand, pricing has also increased because they know that there is a demand and people are ideally, there are people, I wouldn't say like 100% or something, but 70 to 80% the demand has increased, considering uh, schools, colleges and all, they've gone for like from home only on laptop. You are going to, it's going to be digitalized. So
Yes.
yeah, that I could say. There are certain like most of the cases, due to essential services, if you have to say, the demands have increased, and uh, luxury or something, if you have to say, the demand has decreased. So obviously the cost ratio to, would differ. Cost, like people who used to, for them, they were never hesitant to pay earlier. Now it's like now it's like they are a bit taking a step behind in order to pay that the similar amount.
Yes, yes. Just I want to add one point in that that you said. It's true. The essential services, the demand is getting increased, and the people are purchasing at any cost. But the thing is
Yes.
that if you see the mask, if the 20 rupees mask, the if the seller is selling on 300 rupees or 400 rupees, so how many days you can purchase it? Because your purchasing capacities also get decreased, na? Because you're not getting your salaries, your the
Yes.
income gets stopped. So the people
Yes.
at some extent they need to think कि यार मुझे purchase करना है या नहीं करना. Once time I will purchase it, but next
Mask,
time,
yes, sir. You can take that as an example. In the initial days when the pandemic came in, mask was were in demand, but considering that people bought also. But right now it's like we've already crossed 3 months, so the demand has reduced because people are now YouTube is available. You can make mask at home. Then
yeah,
if it's a cloth material, you can't be using the similar, so it's
yeah.
pointless of buying it. So people are becoming
So so what is that? What is So what is that? The people are manufacturing that mass at house. That is nothing but the innovation and
innovation.
reinvent
Yes, it's
approach.
like if I have to say, sir, like we can go back directly to 80 say 60s 70s, wherein there were take the basic things like cake shop, bread and all. People used to make it at home, like, and
Mhm.
because people have started this like their own businesses and all, so people were ready to pay additionally more and buy it from outside. Right now
Mhm.
it's like everything is available on YouTube. You need not go outside, you just need those essential, those required things, and you can make it at home. So it is also because of the digital world, like, which has got
So
revamped.
this is nothing but the new ways that the business models are coming. They are revamping the overall business model, and they are just focusing on
Yes.
the innovative strategy. The people are just thinking that if you see the Amazon or the Flipkart, those who are the online based firms, okay, they are just thinking how they can innovate on providing a supply chain model, how they can supply the goods at home, okay, in a innovative way. Okay, so that is some the product and servicing offer. Okay, so that is playing an important role. KPMG, how the KPMG is coping with such type of issues? Can you just have you read that article, and how can you just put your thought process on this? How KPMG handling this? What is the thought process of KPMG? KPMG report से आपको क्या सीखने को मिला? What they are doing to tackle with post-COVID situation? That in pragmatic agile business, till now we are just talking in a general way. This is happening, okay, in a social context and in a business context. But when we are talking about one firm, one company, how will you relate these three terms? That is compassionate leadership. In short, please tell me. Compassionate leadership, pragmatic edge, that is agile business, and the third one is managing employee welfare. You can just share your own
Uh,
experience also about your organization, please.
Not a problem. So I'll just summarize the all the 3 points, like how the KPMG has done. Like ideally, they've changed the whole business strategy in terms of when it comes to leadership, leadership, compassionate leadership, because it wasn't always about what leader is telling and you have to act as per that. The leader is also over here. Apart from the leader himself also requires mentally as well as socially engaged and what you call like take the required like safety measurement before it addresses it to people. Preach what you can. What's that? There is something which is said. Then pragmatic and agile when it comes, it's like you can't be sitting in that this situation forever. You have to think, move out, and this fear has become so damn stress, like put in the minds that people are really getting like scared and just sitting at home. But for how long? You need to come out, and you will have to like slowly and steadily, but yes, you'll have to come out and start working, because for the losses that you've not only incurred on the business point of view, emotionally as well, lot of people are instabilized. So that uh, is something you need to move ahead. The policies and all, like the way this on the cost part also, there has been changes in terms of the SOPs, policies, variable performance, variable structure. That was a thing which all the businesses had introduced. So also it happened at the time of appraisal and promotions. This pandemic came during that time. So this year is something, the way that we put in front of, we put it across to our team members or to our employees does matter, because people were with an expectation. Are my performance last year was really good, I can expect a good promotion or my variable pay. So a lot of cost cuttings have happened. So we have to convince our team members, until and unless the cash flows do not revamp, we wouldn't be able to commit you this thing. But yes, our focus is, once the cash flows revamp, we are in a good state. Whatever losses we've incurred, or whatever things we had promised you that we couldn't give you during this time, we'll definitely try our level best to give it to you once everything. This is an assurity, is something as an organization which is required at this stage, which KPMG is doing. What I could uh, like see to it. Then the last was managing employee welfare. It clearly relates, not only for the leader but also for everyone. Since you are working from remotely working, mentally whatever exercise, like since you always used to come to your office, so there used to be body movements. You used to work out like little. That at least movement was there. But since now you are at home only, exercising, then pick up an hobby or skill that you never used to have time to like practice or something. Develop that skill that since you are at home. Spend the time with your family instead of being busy with the gadgets. Like all, it's usually been like whenever people were out at like in office, people are, once they come home, they're always busy with the gadgets. So till the
I
time
think
you're
that's
working, be busy at work.
we called it as a mental well-being, professional well-being, and the physical
Yes, sir.
well-being.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
Next, last,
I
yeah.
would like to summarize these other
Okay, great.
pointers.
So, any concluding remark, or anyone wants to relate this all these three key points with your experience or your organization things? Please, we are having more 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, please, be
I think
interactive.
so. I missed your question.
I'm just asking any more people wants to add some points. I'm not asking the questions. I'm just insisting you to just then interactive in the GD sessions if you want to add. I think that you're not prepared for today's GD or it's any other reason.
So I was not
So
aware that
possibility
this
that
was the GD.
Sorry.
Actually, I was not aware that this was the GD. So I just read it now only, like
Okay,
before.
okay. It's
Because
okay.
many
But
things
from
were shared actually, sir. So next time, like if you can just
okay,
mention it, which
it's
yeah.
fine, it's fine. But from now,
Yes.
every lecture's last half an hour will spend with one topic and one group discussion.
Okay.
Okay, be ready with
not a problem, sir.
okay.
So just a suggestion, sir. This GD topic you had shared it yesterday. If we get one more day, like if you share it like instead of Friday on a Thursday, it will be better for us to read because I went through both your like both the content that you had shared, but I missed to the audio that you had given. So I didn't
Okay,
get that.
okay.
You
I
had
have
also given a McKinsey audio, na?
yes. That McKinsey audio
Yeah,
you
so
can
I
just
didn't time for that.
uh, you can just go through it for a next GD discussion that I will upload it tomorrow. So what will be the GD topic and on which assignment that you have to work for throughout 1 week.
Not a problem, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
No
Okay.
problem, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Deepali, Sunny.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So we'll conclude today's session. Is there any difficulty in today's session to understand the concept?
No,
Mm,
sir.
Okay, great.
no, sir.
Okay, I'm available on WhatsApp group. Anytime you can ask any real-time issue. Okay, about your
Yes.
organization. I will try my
Yes,
level
sir.
best to reply to it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.